There is an old nursery rhyme which goes, "Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream." We have all heard that simple rhyme when we were but little children. What most don't realize is the experience we call life is but a game, a dream that we are playing. If you are ready to discover exactly what the game is, then follow the blue butterfly. Welcome to a return to oneness. My name is Eddie, and I help people open their hearts. This is the series 5 to Thrive. This video is titled The Game We Are Playing. In the book Return to Oneness, it is written, "The game of make-believe is one in which children dress up in costumes and don a mask, pretending, for a while, to be something other than what they are. This is what you have been doing. Your costume is the body, and the mask you wear is but that of not God. However, you have forgotten you but play a game, for now the game seems to be real, and what is real has been forgotten. You have played in hell until heaven seems but a dream, a fantasy that seems too good to be true." Do you remember when you were a child and played the game of make-believe? Most children play it in some form or another. One day, they may pretend to be a superhero. The next, they may pretend to be a doctor or nurse. Some pretend to be pilots or astronauts, exploring the farthest reaches of space and other worlds. But what do each of these scenarios have in common? Quite simply, they are the imaginings of a child's mind. While playing the game, the child becomes lost in play. Then, usually the voice of a parent interrupts the child's playtime, requiring the child to leave the game and return to the real world. Most are completely unaware that they are playing nothing but a version of the children's game of make-believe, for they believe they are their body and fully play the part of not God. Most believe that it is blasphemy to even consider their divine nature. You may be one of them. You look into a mirror and believe that the image you see reflecting back is your truth. For you stare at the image believing that you are looking at who you are. And behind the image, there is a story that helped shape who you think you have become. But if the image you see reflecting back from the mirror is truth, then you can but see death in everything and everyone you look upon. For this is the game, a game where you believe that you will lose everyone and everything to the specter of death. And this you do not question, for it is accepted as the natural order of the universe. Yet deep within you, you know that this is but a game. But every time you give this idea any consideration, you are called back into the game to play your part within it. Now you have heard a different call, one that asks you to look upon life rather than death, one that calls you into joy instead of misery. Your heart calls out to you now, but as long as your mind remains within the cloud bank of denial, you can but continue the game. In this cloud bank, it is easy to see a whole world rising. A solid mountain range, a lake, a city, all rise in your imagination, and from the clouds the messengers of your perception return to you, assuring you it is there. Figures stand out and move about, Actions seem real, and forms appear and shift from loveliness to the grotesque. And back and forth they go, as long as you would play the children's game of make-believe. Just like when you were a child and your parents called you to stop playing and come to them, your true self is doing the same. For it is calling you home. It is calling you to recognize that you are so much more than who you are pretending to be. Yet you fear returning home, for you fear that you will be punished for the bad things you have done. Now the time has come for you to laugh at such foolishness, for you know that you have simply been playing a game of make-believe, where you have been pretending, for a time, to be something other than what you are in truth. Underneath the costume and behind the mask lies your true self. You have been but playing the game for so long, you have but forgotten who and what you are. However, your memory will return. But in order for the memory of your real self to return to your mind, you must also lay aside the toys you made while playing the game. In other words, you must lay aside the fear, the guilt, the hurt, the shame, and even the story itself that you made in order to play your role. For those things were but part of the game, and they cannot return home with you. The time has arrived for you to finally realize that you have been pretending to be something other than what you are. For you have but pretended to be small, isolated, alone, and limited in power. You have but pretended to be a separate self, walking by yourself among other separate beings in a world, a playground, where everyone and everything appears separate and apart from everyone and everything that exists. It has been but a child's game. You have heard the call to return home. Choose not to tarry a moment longer, for yourself but eagerly awaits your return. Thank you for watching and listening to this video. Remember, you are loved, and you are that love. If you enjoyed this video and would like to hear more, then please consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons below.